Hello, this is the LEGO Ninjago Source Dragon of Motion set. This comes with over 1,700 pieces. I built it live on Twitch and it cost me $150 US. It includes 6 minifigures with a good balance there, and then 6 of these little spirit dragons, which are new, and we'll look at all those later. First though, the main thing you're paying for. This is obviously an immense dragon. The wingspan is over 26 inches or 67 centimeters approximately. And the length from nose to tip of tail is just a little bit less than that. The wings are made of vinyl. They have a nice design on them we'll look at more closely. This is a very sturdy dragon in spite of the fact that it is very large and very heavy. It feels like it's built primarily based on function and being able to hold its own weight and being able to hold a pose, and then form is added to that. It really feels like it has the strongest core, and then kind of meat and skin is added above that as it's put together. It definitely feels like a well-engineered design. The head is a hybrid design that uses a specialized mold for the top. Thankfully, it has prints for the eyes, not stickers there. And then a specialized mold down here for the jaw. The jaw swivels just in one place, so it doesn't have that double joint that some of the pure brick-built ones have had where you can move it back a little bit, but this is just fine. But then you do have a lot of brick building here to add on your extra detail and your extra bulk, which is pretty consistent in its overall look and its level of texture with the rest of the dragon. Looking at this just by itself, I kind of wish that there was more texture in the cheeks here, but looking at the whole thing, it does fit together pretty well. You've got the large horns here. There are a couple different colors of molded gold. This seems to be a new thing that LEGO is doing. Once again, they've done it before, but they're doing it again. We have 2 different colors of gold. Unfortunately, they're supposed to be the exact same color. Some people like seeing that variation, but it's not supposed to be there. And as soon as you start to build something that is intended to be all one color, then you start to notice it, and then all of a sudden you don't like it anymore. Now, this does have a couple of joints in here. One of them works really, really well. It's this one. It doesn't have a whole lot of range of motion, but the friction is perfectly fine for all of this weight that's here. So you can twist it around and do things with that. The next one in though, not so much. This one right here, you lift it up and it's just going to fall down. So that's just how it's designed to work, or how the designer left it working. You can rotate this around though. You can rotate it, bring it side to side ever so slightly, rotate it this way. But when you're twisting it, do be careful about these spots right here. I did notice that these pop off a lot easily if you're not careful, because it'll catch right there on the side. I had this happen so many times. I had to actually restart the filming of this a couple times because of that, and also when I first brought it into the room. So watch out for that. It's a little bit of a weak point right there. By comparison, the next joint in, so you've got a couple stickers used here, one on either side. The next joint is super, super strong. So you got a good joint here, a poor one, and then a ridiculously strong one here. This one can be rotated, but it can also go up one click. However, it doesn't go up one click very well when the throne harness saddle thing is on here. It kind of gets in the way right there. So you got to be careful with that. When this is not there, you can go up one click, no problem whatsoever. The throne harness saddle thing, it's a baddie seat, isn't it? Yeah, you can tell because it's got black and lots of spines and thorns and things on it. Right. So that's how this is being controlled against the will of the Source Dragon. And there is a sticker used, I'm trying to get the focus, a sticker used right there, and then a couple stickers used here, so one on either side. Here you got the gong of shattering. Now this is nice, uses the Spinjitzu spinner top type of piece there, but this has a print right there in the center, a perfectly centered little round kind of buckler, but with a beautiful, beautiful print on it that is so, so nicely done. But again, stickers used here on the sides. This wolf head, just the top half of wolf head, obviously doesn't have the lower jaw, but the shaping on this is perfect for its scale, for its size. That's awesome. That is really, 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 really nicely done. This whole entire thing though will come off, and it comes off fairly easy. You do have to reach up here forward. You want to remove the reins. There are a couple ways you can do that. You just detach the reins right here and leave it itself on, but on the side here, got just a couple things that just pull up, and then all of this lifts very, 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 very easily as one whole thing. And that leaves just a single seat for the single rider. And again, you can just simply remove these entirely, remove the chains entirely. But with that, it's practically like a miniature castle removed from the top of this thing. Now it looks much more like just a dragon. you know, you can really appreciate this more for what it is with the combination of organic and elemental, you know, kind of cues to all of it. I think it just looks so much better like this. Now, the wings are pretty solidly built. You're able to flap these up and down. They also have some forward and reverse rotation. There's a little bit of interference with the shoulders here, so you just got to watch out for that a bit. But see, you can fold this back either this way, or you can do it this way. Kind of choose how you want to fold that in. So it can look like this, or it can look like that. But you also have this additional joint here that you can mess around with. And I've found that that especially works nicely over here. Bring that in, then bring this down for more of a properly folded in kind of look. That's nice, you know, and again, there's plenty of strength to this joint itself right here. These also don't look too bad from the underside. A lot of past dragons from Lego, especially when they've really tried to add strength in, have not looked great. Their wings from the underside, but you've got pretty good color matching here, which is, in my personal opinion, really important. Just the fact that you've got all red pieces there really helps it to look more finished and correct. Even here, you know, you've got that one black piece, but you know, it kind of matches with the tips of the spines there. You got the one gold piece out here, which is fully intentional just to go with the whole color scheme. And you got the red pieces used for the ball ends. Just all that is just so important, you know, compared to having what we would have seen in the past, a bunch of gray and black and some blue connector pieces in there. This just feels so much better. It feels like a relief to me as someone who's just been complaining about unnecessarily off-colored stuff a lot. I actually didn't try this before, actually angling this forward. That's kind of nice. I wish that there was one more joint that I could add to that. But this wing, you can see, has a fold in it. It's kind of warped up compared to this one over here. It's relatively flat. That's just something that happens sometimes just from the packaging. Moving on to the legs, the front legs are built great. Simply fantastic. I love this shaping here again with the consistency of detail throughout this and texture. It's really good. A little bit of gray in here, unfortunately, is not the best thing to see, but you know, substituting for gold and kind of blending in towards the red are some medium nougat pieces, which I don't have any issue with. The gold consistently goes all the way down underneath the body. The center of the body here is built up, but not too much. And then you do have the joint that goes forward and back here. Let me just get the wing out of the way a little bit. So this is able to move forward and back. This does have the up and down in it, but it's not actually usable, unfortunately. Right there, it's locked in place. There's actually a piece to make sure that you don't use that, so it's able to be more stable. So that's compromise. I think that's well placed, because this does feel like something I can confidently just put down at any time, but I am still able to do some posing with it, including moving this back. Again, you just have to worry about a little bit of interference right there. But then you've got the full ball joint down here, which does have a partially limited range of motion, which again is 100% intentional. You can curl these in while it's in flight. Yeah, you know, not all of the articulation that everyone's going to want, but definitely leans in the direction of form first over function and durability for hands-on play. This section of body is fully hinged, so you can go 3 clicks over. So from here, 1, 2, actually just two in from each side. All right, there's the other, which is nice. It allows you more dynamic posing for the body. And then the rear legs, the upper part of the legs are shaped really nicely here. I like the roundness of it, but then though you have 2 joints suggested here, there's no articulation here. So you just have, once again, the forward and back. It's a bit limited. And again, you don't have the in and out splay option, again, because the designer wanted this to be as strong as possible while sitting on the ground. Coming all the way to the back, you get to the tail. This is strong and is able to go up and down a bit. Not all the way, but a fair bit. The rotation is good. And then on the individual sections of the tail, this is able to rotate all the way around, which is nice, a nice tight curling, but you're not able to rotate it or get it to bend up and down just within this. So you're not able to have that, you know, nice flow as viewed from the side. It's more like, I don't know, what kind of animal has a tail that's always straight like that. I don't know. Just a little bit lacking in the organic department there. This is nice with the two colors in there, the dual molding with the natural flow marbling, and that's it. It's obviously built completely mirrored to the other side. Looks nice. It has limits to its motion, but I can always just put it down and feel confident that it's not gonna sag. It's just gonna sit there and everything is gonna stay there just fine. Again, this one has its sag, but it's always just gonna return there, and that's it. These little dragon spirit pieces, I want to call them sprites. They're like fire sprites. They're awesome. I want these in every single color because this is just a single mold. Each one's just a single mold. I'll go ahead and pull one of these off so you can see it individually. But they've got just an anti-stud on the underside, and they give you 3 of these stands to hold a pair, each holding a pair of them. But this is the piece itself. And it has really, really nice shaping and captures a lot of light, a lot of highlights, does a lot of refraction and reflection. And yeah, I think it's just designed very nicely. It even has the suggestion of the eye there. So you can just imagine this also being made in opaque colors. Actually, I think they already did, didn't they? I think there's a gold color, but I want this done in every single color possible, especially transparent, first and foremost, but also some realistic or semi-realistic opaques would be good too. You know, get your sand green, get your dark red, get your regular red, black even. I don't know, just keep going because they're pretty darn awesome. I like these a little bit too much. As I move on to the minifigures, this unnamed wolf mask warrior has the most ridiculous accessory with the magical claws coming out. Look at this. It's so large. Transparent red used for the piece there. You got just 2 of them. You are, as you can see, you are able to get this to balance on its own without being attached to a studded base. You can make it balance, but it's a little bit on the difficult side just because these are so huge. If you put this on a studded base, you know, obviously it's going to be a lot easier, but interesting and very definitely striking. And looking at the figure up closer, I personally don't like the red in there. I don't know, it's just not a great look to me personally. I wish there was trans red instead, even though that wouldn't be as bright and noticeable. This just feels kind of blanked out to me, like the person wouldn't even be able to see from the inside. Love the sword though. Also need that in multiple colors. Every color combination, obviously, with the base color being silver, that would be a necessity. This is dark pearl gray, the gunmetal gray, but you know, we need some in silver, and then we need every possible color combination with the elemental section of the blade, which also gives you that little bit of the gem there, and it also comes all the way down to the pommel. Really interesting, good detailing all throughout the design of the figure as well, with the graphic design on it and pretty good production work. And there's what the person looks like underneath. And you also get an alternate face. And then here are Lord Raz and Jordana. You get another one of that sword there. Another one. Nice arm printing for Lord Raz. Has some printing on the head as well. Additional detailing on the head, which looks pretty good. And both of these just look like they're produced well, and they have some pretty intricate detailing that went into the graphic design. Lord Raz, the way that this head is done, does not have an actual minifig head underneath, so there's nothing to see there, but there is this alternate face for Jordana. Then here's a slightly older version of RN. You got Wildfire in the middle there with that hair piece looking like she's coming out of Monkey Kid, and then Kai over on the right. Obviously the new shorter sword piece, the wakizashi. To me, it looks so short that it almost looks like a long tanto, but I guess it could just be seen as a relatively short wakizashi. There's a lot of range in blade lengths within given classes, but it's nice to get just a different length. A lot of people have been super hyped about that. So cool. And hopefully they will make some in silver as well. You got the grappling hook sort of accessory over here for RN as well. And I need to pull a bunch of stuff off so you can see more details. No alternate face for RN is understandable because of the short hairstyle, but nothing for Wildfire is unfortunate. It's just a little bit disappointing because she has a lot of range of emotion, and this captures at least one, but you could have something different. And I think it would have been useful there. And then there's Kai also showing you the rest of the nice print on the back of that figure, and here are their faces unobscured. Finally, these are the parts I had left over, including lots of extra weapon pieces. It's always nice to get, especially when there are new ones available. And maybe you can see in here the difference in color between the current gold and the newer gold. And we'll see if that newer gold is going to be the new gold. I wish they would just stop messing with it, because they finally got it right and it's durable enough, but now they're changing it again. This is what the sticker sheet looked like. Not a whole lot to worry about there. Again, I paid $150 US for this. It's 150 euros, 130 pounds UK, or $200 Canadian for 1,716 pieces. And it comes with the 6 figures plus the 6 little sprites there. It's the most massive dragon that LEGO has ever done. In some dimensions, it is the largest. In multiple dimensions, it's the largest that they've ever done. I'm not too surprised that it's $150 US. I wish it was cheaper, but for that many pieces, that many figures, this much stuff in general, yeah, I'm just not surprised. I miss the days when Ninjago was a budget theme. You know, it was one of the cheapest, gave you some of the best values out there. I feel like this doesn't give you the best value for your money, but it's not too bad. Definitely, this is easily over $100 worth in modern times, just being reasonable about it. 120, pretty easily too. 130, yep, I can easily see that too. So we start to push it once we get to about 140. We're still well within the range. Take 10% of this off and I can't complain about the price. Overall, I do wish that it had a little bit more built-in articulation. I will point out that I was talking about how the tail works back here. Let's actually swap over to here. I really wanted the tail to be able to go up more, and you can make the tail go up. You can make, you can make the tail curve up if you break the joints free here. And that is something that can be done, but that's, you know, and it's secure enough because there's not that much weight back here, but that's definitely not something that's going to be done by most folks, I'd say, who aren't, I'd say by the average owner of this, you know, folks who are not going to be watching YouTube videos or doing mods and things. So it's there, it's something that you can do, but it's not baked in. And I do also wish that we had more articulation at the neck. And I think that is mostly just limited by the weight of the whole thing and not wanting it to sag down on its own. You know, just up and down would be nice, and a little bit more side to side as well. You know, you got this here. Yeah, so those are the things that I personally wish that it did better. One thing I did neglect to mention also is that this has little pads underneath the feet. So it's got like shoes, little rubber bushing things down there. So that helps it to have better traction on the ground when you just set it down. It contributes to that confidence when you just place it down, no matter what the pose happens to be. But all in all, I'm happy with this. It's strong. I'm confident in it. It's big. I kind of prefer cloth wings always, personally, but that's just personal bias. As vinyl wings go, these are pretty good, and they're definitely helped out a lot by the way the designer did the underside and made the color scheme all nice and continuous and everything. And the minifigures are fine. I just haven't watched the latest and greatest of the Dragons Rising stuff, so I can't speak to that stuff all that much, but I love these over here. I hope that I've at least brought you some value, even if you don't necessarily agree with some of my opinions about this, but I hope that the video has helped you to come to your own conclusions. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I'll talk to you soon.